Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. We got the Ravens versus Texans divisional round playoff game at the bank, 4:30 Eastern this Saturday. This is the game preview episode. If you're new to the channel, we'll also do another giveaway, $50 giveaway, so you just got to watch this whole video. Somewhere in this video, I'm going to ask a question, usually a yardage number or something like that. Just watch the video, hear the question, like the video, please, subscribe to the channel, and comment your answer. Closest answer wins $50 right after the game. And with all that, let's dive into the matchup. So we've already played the Texans week 1 of this season. Now, both teams are obviously very different. You know, that was Stroud's first game ever. That was Lamar's first game with these weapons in this offense. And after a long break himself, you know, he was coming off an injury, didn't play in the preseason. So a lot of rust and figuring things out on both sides. So it's hard for me to look at week 1 because both teams are so drastically different right now. But the Ravens are favored pretty well in this game. I mean, I think the line opened at 9.5. It may have shifted to 8.5 in some books. I've seen it at 10 some places, but 8 to 10 points they're favored by. And that's a lot in the NFL playoffs. So obviously Vegas thinks that the Ravens should comfortably win. I don't know about comfortably win. That'd obviously be amazing. But I do think that this is going to be a tough game just because the Texans are playing so hard. I think talent-wise, our roster matches up incredibly well against the Texans. I think that we have a way better roster overall. But that doesn't discount how hard they're playing, how well they're playing as a unit, how inspired they are together. You got a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach combination going. Everything feels fresh and new. You're kind of playing with house money. There's no pressure on the Texans at all. The Ravens are the heavily favored team. They have Lamar Jackson, who's going to win his second MVP, who the media keeps bringing up as 1-3 in the playoffs. And blah, 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 blah. We've talked about this all season long, how different this team is. Lamar hasn't even been in the playoffs in 3 years. He didn't go his last 2 seasons because he was hurt. He didn't play on them, at least. The Ravens went. But my point is Lamar hasn't played in the playoffs in a long time. And you're bringing up a record from 3 seasons ago is not doing a service to what this team represents, what Lamar with these new weapons and this new Todd Monken scheme is. It's just totally different.
I'm ready for whatever right now.
Weather should be okay compared to how things have been. It's definitely going to be cold. It should be in the 20s. Now, 8 to 16 mile an hour winds, so we're going to have a little bit of wind to deal with, but it should not rain or snow, so clear skies in that front. Injuries could play a role for both teams. I don't think either team's majorly beat up, but they could miss a key guy or two. I'm filming this early in the morning, so I don't have today's final practice report, which will be telling for guys like Marlon Humphrey, who has not practiced all week up until this point. So hopefully he has a full practice or at least a limited and they want to give it a go, but it's at this point looking very unlikely that Marlon Humphrey is going to play because he's been out for weeks and still is not back to practice. So at this point of me recording this video, if he doesn't put in a full practice today, I do not see Marlon Humphrey playing. So sit him if you have to. I think we match up well against these receivers anyway, but I would still love to have Marlon Humphrey out there if possible. Everyone else on the Ravens should be good to go. Zay came back to practice. Kyle Hamilton's been practicing. I don't think that there's any other key players that have a potential of missing this game. Zeitler's back. So it looks like it's just going to be Marlon Humphrey, if anyone, but obviously that is a big loss. And then on the Texans side, Will Anderson downgraded to did not practice yesterday. So keep an eye on that today. If he puts in a limited or a full practice again, he's probably all right. But if he has another DNP, then he's someone to keep an eye on for missing the game. And then Mark Andrews is another big question for Baltimore. He's been practicing. He even upgraded to a full practice, so we'll see what he does today. All signs seem to be pointing to him possibly giving this a go on Saturday, which is crazy. But Harbaugh said he had a great practice. The reporters that were there were saying that Mark Andrews made a leaping catch and just kind of took a huge step forward and looks like himself. So we might see Mark Andrews out there. I'm definitely not counting on it. I don't want to get my hopes up or think that that's going to happen just because I know how serious that injury was. But obviously having Mark out there is a boost, and they're going to have to figure out a way to have Mark and Isaiah Likely out on the field. I think that creates a run look that we can run from very easily, but then also pass out of very easily and create some mismatches with Mark and Isaiah Likely against linebackers. Mark has a tremendous knowledge and feel for zone coverages and where to sit and find the hole, and I just think that he would be a big plus to this offense. So hopefully he does play. I'm excited to see him back out there. If not, praying we win, and then we'll definitely see him in the conference championship. We'll shift to the Texans a little bit. Obviously, they have C.J. Stroud on offense, rookie quarterback, maybe the greatest rookie quarterback season ever in NFL history. I mean, dude's just absolutely efficient baller. And all credit in the world, all respect in the world to that entire coaching staff and that entire team. D'Amico Ryans has got those guys inspired, and C.J. Stroud is leading this team as a rookie, so it's incredible. But I do like the way we match up against them. I don't think that they have any game-breaking receivers. I know Nico Collins is playing great. They got Robert Woods. They got Mechie. They got Singletary at running back, and they tore the Browns up, and that means something. The Browns do have a great defense, but if you really look at what happened, the Browns were playing extremely risky and making a lot of safety mistakes, honestly. The Ravens do not play like that. Yes, Cleveland has a great defense and Baltimore has a great defense, so vaguely there's some similarities there, but the way they play is totally different, and the Ravens play a lot of zone and keep everybody in front of them at all times. I mean, very rarely this whole season have we been beat down the field over the top. I remember one a few weeks ago. I think it was against Jacksonville. Marcus Williams got hurt or somebody, and then Arthur Mollett comes in and we get burnt down the field. Like, it does happen occasionally, but with Marcus Williams back there, with Kyle Hamilton back, with Geno Stone being able to play deep with Marcus, and we move Kyle around to wherever, I just think it's going to be very hard to have wide open guys running down the field. So not to say that they can't move the ball or don't have an efficient passing game. I think that there's still plays to be made. Our corners aren't incredible, especially if Marlon Humphrey's out. I mean, we got Brandon Stevens, who's going to have to lead the way. We got Ronald Darby, Arthur Mollett, Rock Ya-Sin. But the way we play defense as a cohesive unit, keeping everybody in front of you at all times, so we eliminate big plays, essentially. We get to the quarterback well. Now, that is a different story in this game because their offensive line is very good, is playing really, really well. Tunzel's playing at an insane level. So Mike McDonald's going to have to be on his A game, scheming up these rushes, because that's how we get to the quarterback most of the time anyway. We don't have a ton of one-on-one beaters. It's a lot of schemed rush, but we're still getting home. We had 60 sacks. We led the entire NFL in sacks. So I trust that we'll continue to find a way to get home and put some pressure on Stroud. I do think that we'll be able to make it really tough on them, and they're not going to be able to score a ton of points. The Ravens, if anything, have a weaker run defense. Our pass defense has been number one in the league as well. So if anything, I think we're vulnerable in the run game, but probably not with this running back. I don't think Singletary is going to be the guy to just gash our defense over and over again. As long as we're tackling well, as long as we're pursuing the ball, like we talked about the Texans have been doing, the Ravens have also been doing that. Whole team runs to the ball in defense. That's just been the Baltimore way forever. So I don't expect anything different. These linebackers, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, are going to take care of business. I don't see their run game going off. I just think our defense can make it really tough for them to put up a lot of points, to move the ball and score consistently. And then on the other side of the ball, our offense has been doing that. So that obviously does lead to the Ravens being favored a lot because our offense is scoring 30 plus pretty much the last 2 months. But I do like the Texans secondary. Their rush is good. Will Anderson's a freak, man. He's going to be a special player in this league. I think that they do a good job, like I said, swarming to the ball. D'Amico Ryans does have that defense playing inspired. They had 2 pick sixes on Flacco last week. I definitely don't see a repeat of that. Lamar's way better than Joe Flacco right now. But it goes to show you how important not turning the ball over is. So I think that's, once again, the key for the Ravens offense. I've said that in many games this year. Do not beat yourself. Do not fumble the ball. Do not be throwing dumb picks, especially early in the game when we've had weeks off. You know, the starters haven't really played because we rested everyone in week 18 against Pittsburgh. So the starters haven't played in almost 3 weeks, basically. So there could be potential for some rust. You know, you throw an early pick or something. We've seen that happen before. So just none of that. You know, don't beat yourself. And I think that the Ravens are going to be able to have some success. We got a ton of weapons, man, especially if Andrews comes back. The receiving core is stacked. Odell's healthy. Zay's healthy. Rashad Bateman's healthy. Likely's been balling. Our offensive line's been getting better and better. Our run game is still strong, probably even stronger because Dalvin Cook is officially on the active roster. We've waived Melvin Gordon. He's expected to sign back to the practice squad, but we've officially made the move. Dalvin Cook's playing in the divisional round, and that leads me to the giveaway question today. How many total yards receiving and rushing is Dalvin Cook going to have in his first game as a Raven? Total yards, Dalvin Cook. Drop your answer below. Closest answer wins $50 right after the game. Best of luck, guys. So we'll jump into my score predictions before we get out of here. I got the Ravens beating the Texans 31-20. I think that the Ravens defense gives Stroud and company just enough problems. I do think that they're able to move the ball. They'll probably have like one big play, but I think that the Ravens rush can get home, and I really think this secondary matches up well against these receivers. I just don't see a game-breaking receiver out there, and I think that we can contain them well. I think we can get to Stroud and just stop them from scoring a ton of points, and then like I said, on the flip side, our offense is going to be able to move the ball. I got to trust that Lamar, who's about to win his second MVP and is scoring 30 to 50 points a game these last few weeks, is going to be able to score 30 again and get the job done and move on to the AFC Championship. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know your guys' score predictions, and hopefully you heard the giveaway question. Just make sure you drop your answer and show some love in the comments. And I appreciate you guys more than you know. Let's go, Ravens. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.